Hey, 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 Facebook Live. What's going on? Come on in, come on in, come on in. It's your girl, Dr. V. Come on in. Let me share. Let me share. You guys come on in, come on in. I'm super excited about today's word. Y'all may be saying, why, Dr. V? Why are you so excited about today's word? Because listen, God is up to something. And the beautiful thing about life when God is up to something is that you can never like outmaneuver God. Like you can't outmaneuver him. Like he knows the end from the beginning. So you guys come on in, and let's talk about this. Let's talk about this. I was trying to find my light and I can't find it. Who knows where it is? Let me know who's here and where you're tuning in from. Let me know who's here and where you are tuning in from. Where y'all at? Where y'all at? Yes, yes, yes. Look, in life, a lot of times we will see but not see. We'll see but we don't see stuff, right? We'll see but we act like we don't see it. We'll hear but we act like we don't hear it. We'll know something and act like we don't know. It's an interesting thing. It's an interesting thing because what it does is it puts us in a position where we know that if we see it, we know that if we say it, then we know that we've got to do something about it. Like we can no longer act like it doesn't exist. And so as long as we stay in the place of we can't see, or we didn't hear, then like we can ignore it. Like that's one of our techniques. It's one of the mechanisms that we use to cope with life, right? Just act like you don't see it. Like I just pretend like you don't know it. Pretend like you're not aware. Pretend like you didn't see. Pretend like pretending. This is why Jesus says, let those who have eyes to see, those that have ears to hear. So having the eyes to see doesn't mean that you have eyes. They had eyes. They weren't blind, but they didn't have eyes to see. They didn't want to see. You know, it wasn't that they didn't have ears. They had ears. They weren't deaf, but they didn't want to hear. Good morning, Stacy. I got your registration. Yay. Yay. I'm so excited. I'm so excited. Stacy and her daughter are coming to Healing Daddy Wounds July the 28th through the we'll see which session y'all do, okay? So we'll talk about that. We'll talk about that. So listen, when we are finally in a place where we will submit ourselves unto God, truly submit ourselves unto God, then God can do what it is that he wants. Then he will open our eyes. See, when he gives sight to the blind, he doesn't just give sight to those who are physically blind. He gives sight to those who are spiritually and emotionally blind. When you pretend like you don't see, when you like, he'll give you sight. He'll give you sight. Yes, Stacey, girl, it's gonna be everything. Everything is everything. Yes, it's going to be everything. I'm super excited. Let me put that information up there for you guys who are interested so you can see where we're going and what we are doing. Okay. So, look, when you're finally ready to allow yourself to see what you see, hear what you hear, then God can do some things with you. So, listen, you know I'm on a journey. Y'all know I'm on a journey. And on this journey, God has me in this process where I show up differently. Okay. So people are used to me showing up and having all of this energy and being like, blah, 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 running. I'm not running. I'm walking. I'm walking. Sometimes I walk faster than other times. Sometimes I may run, but I'm not in a constant state of frenzied activity. I am more reserved. I pay a lot of attention. Um, I listen a lot. I do a lot of processing. I pay attention to the messages behind the messages. So, when you're a prophet, you get a lot of extrasensory information. Like there's a lot going on around you and you can feel a lot of things. But baby, listen, let me tell y'all something. I'm in a place where I'm seeing very clearly, hearing very clearly, and paying very close attention. And as I'm on this journey and I'm in this process, some interesting things are happening for me. Like I'm getting real clear about spaces that I can and cannot be in. And it's not even emotional. So I'm in a place where my moves are not emotional. They're not emotion based. What I see, what I feel, what I hear, it's not emotional. Like I'm not moving off of emotion. See, there was a time when I was probably a lot more emotion driven. I'm not. I'm able to just see, discern, decide. See, discern, decide. Matter of fact, let me put this up here because some of y'all need to tap into this right here. See, discern. Because God doesn't remove responsibility or decision making from us. Hold on. You got to see, discern what you're seeing, and decide what you're going to do with that information. What are you going to do with it? How are you going to use this information, allow it to assist you in your journey? Because everything that we get is designed to assist us in our journey. It's not a thing where God just is showing you stuff just to show you. No, He says that I won't let you be caught unawares. I won't let you be caught unaware. I won't let you be caught off guard. I won't let you not see before something comes. So you got to see, discern, and decide. I've gotten a lot of you really need to pay attention to um who's in your space, in your energy. Not everyone means you good, which I absolutely know to be the case. Um, but really discerning the season of your life that you're in and knowing how to maneuver in the season, right? I tell you guys all the time that there's a lot of um I've been telling y'all, yeah, like the way God is shifting us, the way God is moving us for destiny, like there are just going to be shifts in relationships, shifts in location, shifts in mindsets, shifts in your spirit. God is doing a new thing. It's not going to be the same old, same old. It just isn't. You may see your circles changing. You may see your physical being changing because this is a transformation season. Last night, yesterday, I was having a conversation with a couple of friends, and one of them said, he said, what we were talking, and we're talking about, hey, Andrea, how are you, gorgeous? We were talking about, well, so the conversation was about my lives, and y'all can help me with this. The conversation was about my lives, and it was that, well, the beginning of my lives seem commercial. They don't seem like um, it's really authentic. I don't know how to say it. It doesn't seem like it's not me just showing up. Like there's this commercial element to it. And I believe in listening. I listen. I used to spend a lot of time getting defensive when people said stuff, but I've learned to listen. I've learned to listen, chew up the meat, spit out the bones. That's the way I operate. Chew up the meat, spit out the bones. But I was listening and I was thinking about that. Tell my nephew I said, hey, hey, sissy. I was thinking about that. And um, what is it in the beginning part? that is not authentic or seems commercial or um, is not as engaging, I'll say, for some people. And maybe y'all can help me with this. But my whole thing is, in the beginning, y'all know sometimes I have no idea what I'm going to say. I just know God says, get on and say something, and I'm waiting for him to speak. And I think that maybe watching someone wait can be uncomfortable, because I'm not going to sit here and wait in silence. I'm not going to just sit here and wait in silence. I'm going to be talking to you until he gives me that thing that says click, right? And you all may see when it happens, like when God gives me something that's like, there it is right there, right? And so I had to like navigate that. I was trying to navigate that. I was thinking about that last night. Say, hmm. And I remember my sister saying to me, when she used to watch my lives, she said, sometimes your lives seemed like forced or not um, mm, not authentic. um, so I said, well, and then it was said that there are different versions of you. It's like different people show up, right? And I thought about it. So, I believe in, praying and seeking God, and, seeing what God is saying. And I realized something. There are many different aspects of me. There are different, if you want to say versions, you can say versions, different versions, different aspects. You guys get to watch me and process. This is not filtered. Like, you're not getting the filtered, you're getting real live action news. Like, when you watch the news and you watch those news stories that are unfolding right before your eyes, that's what you get with me. From the beginning all the way to the end, you're getting that thing right there, right? So I told you guys that, God says that, he is putting me on public display. Well, when you're put on public display, that means you see all of it. There's no editing involved. I don't get to edit the front. I can't cut out those first 2 to 5 minutes. I can't cut it out. So what you get is my process from beginning all the way through. Good morning, brother. How are you? Okay. You have an upbeat. It's easy to say something like that when you're not the one doing it. Um, you have an upbeat personality, draws you in. You're fine. Thank you, Andrea. I appreciate that. I want you all to really know and understand that this really is live. This is not manufactured. I'm not manufacturing this. So you're getting my actual process. I'm talking about from the time that I turn the camera on and you see me drink water, or you see me eat my sea moss, or you see me take my vitamin, or you're getting me. Like, this is me. This is my life, my real life. This is not something that I'm putting on for people. Y'all already know. First of all, I ain't got time for all that. And I made a decision as God has been taking me through this process and revealing me to me. You guys get to meet me as I get to meet me. It's not like literally you're meeting me as I meet me. As I go through this evolution, as I go through my healing, as I go through my process, the good, the bad, the pretty, the ugly, the in between, y'all are getting all of that. It is not cultured. See, the thing about scripted TV is that there is already a plan laid out. The plan is laid out. They know what they're going to say. They know what's going to happen. It's scripted. Well, it's scripted TV, scripted, right? Reality TV. I'm going to talk about different types of reality TV. You got the reality TV that is real, as in it is following simply everything that's happening in the moment. And then you've got the reality TV that is scripted reality. It's scripted reality. It's not raw reality. It's not just watching everything that happens. It is kind of scripted, as in they manufacture situations, or they know that this event is coming up, so they're going to film the event. So they'll know when they're being film. They'll know what's going to be, not exactly what's going to be used, but they have times when they come together specifically for filming. This is not natural, just interaction, right? You're watching reality TV when you watch me. You're watching reality TV because I'm gonna give it to you real. I'm gonna give it to you raw. It's gonna be as authentic as I can make it. Now, listen to this. I want y'all to hear this. I can't give you any more real than I can see. So if I can't see a thing, and I'm gonna talk about this because I need y'all to understand this. If I can't see a thing, hey Mike, how are you? If I can't see a thing, I can't reveal that thing to you. Now, you may see some things that I can't see because they are my blind spot. So, in the world of psychology, when you talk about the self has four windows. Our self and our relationships with others have four windows, right? So, there's the open window. That's where I know it and you know it. That's open. There is the hidden window. That's where I know it and you don't know it. There is the blind window. That's where you know it but I don't know it. Like, you can see it but I don't see it. There are things that we do that other people will pick up on that we may not pick up on. That's the blind spot. That means that you can see something about me that I can't see. Now, if it's in the open window, I can see it and you see it and we both know it. If it's in the hidden window, I can see it or I know it but you don't know it, and the only way you know it is if I reveal it to you. And when I reveal it to you, it moves from hidden to open. So the panes of these windows may be various sizes, right? And then there's the unknown. There's the stuff that I don't know about me and the stuff that you don't know about me. Listen, we're sitting in the unknown sometimes. Sometimes we're just in that unknown area, that area where I don't know and you don't know. Like, I don't know what God is going to say. You don't know what I'm going to say. Well, you don't know what I'm going to say because I don't know what I'm going to say, because I don't know what God's going to say because God hasn't said it yet. So sitting in that space of unknown is uncomfortable. It's uncomfortable. And I don't have a problem with being uncomfortable. Listen, this is what my life is. My life is a life of being uncomfortable. I've been uncomfortable. If you guys have been watching my journey, I've shared my most uncomfortable moments. I've shared those moments that were good. I share me, right? And I share me for a simple reason. God said that I'm going to put your life on public display. So my life is on public display. That means you get what you get. I am who I am. I don't change. I'm not. When I say I don't change, let me clarify that. I'm in a constant state of evolution. I'm constantly evolving. God is constantly peeling away layers, opening me up, exposing me. Now, see, the difference between my process and most people's process is you get to go through your process in private. I don't get the privilege of a private process. I don't get the, let me say that one more time. I don't get the privilege of a private process. My process is not private. My process is open. Now, sometimes some of it is hidden because I don't know yet if I can reveal that. Or it may be something that I'm blind to, and you may see some things going on in me and notice some differences that I haven't noticed yet. I just haven't noticed it. It's not that I'm acting like it's not happening. I may not have noticed it yet. Like, I really hadn't paid attention to my energy and the shift in my energy. Sometimes I just have these epiphanies that I was like, oh wait, like my celibacy epiphany. Like, whoa, that hit me from like nowhere. That wasn't something that I was hiding. It wasn't even something that I wanted. I know y'all church folks can judge me. Y'all can judge me all you want to. I didn't want it. Okay. Let me be real clear about that. But the moment that it happened, something shifted in me. See, the thing about me is this: when things shift in me, they shift. And once I notice the shift, I'm like, okay, okay. Yes, brother. Sometimes the unknown is uncomfortable. Listen, it's uncomfortable, but you just got to walk it out. So this is what I've learned, and I'm sharing y'all with this because it's time to see. You got to see, y'all. You got to see. You got to be willing to open your eyes and see what's not spoken, see what's really there. You got to see. And when you see it, you have a choice. You can see it and say it or not. See, sometimes when you see it, you got to say it. Sometimes you can see it, discern it, decide how you're going to deal with it, and move on, and never really have to articulate it to anyone else. Okay? So everything you see, you don't have to say. As a prophet, I see a lot all the time. I'm seeing stuff. I'm feeling stuff. I'm discerning stuff all the time. Like it's a nonstop, ongoing process. Like that's my life. You know, when I'm around a lot of people, it can be challenging for me because like I'm picking up all this stuff. Like all this stuff is going on. And I have to decide where I'm going to put my attention, what I'm going to pay attention to, where I'm going to focus my energies. I'm in the store minding my business. You know, I'm just trying to be in the store. That's all I'm trying to do. I ain't trying to mess with nobody. I ain't trying to bother nobody. I ain't trying to see nobody's business. I ain't trying to see what they was doing, who they was doing it with, and where they was doing it. I don't want to know none of that. I just am trying to see. I'm just trying to see me, do what I'm doing, enjoy myself. And God will say, look, and I'll look at someone. And I've learned. See, this is the thing about the prophetic. Unseasoned prophetic um, can be dangerous. Unseasoned prophetic can be dangerous. And I know because I've been there where no one taught me how to do this. Like, listen, God and I've been on this journey um, ourselves, right? I didn't go to a school of the prophets. I didn't go to, and people will say, well, you need to do that. No, God was very clear with me. There were things that he was not going to allow me to do because he didn't want anybody to taint how he told me what to do, right? And a lot of times when you go to these schools of the prophet, they tell you, oh, you have to do it like this. No, you got to do it the way God tells you to do it. And if there's nothing else that you guys get from me, you're going to get consistently. You've got to do what God tells you to do the way God tells you to do it, not the way anybody else thinks you should, not the way anyone else tells you that they do it, the way God tells you to do it. But you've got to get an ear to hear what God is telling you to do and have confidence to believe that if God told you to do it, that you need to do it and you can do it. He's given you and equipped you with everything you need to do it. So when I tell y'all it's time to see, it's time to see, not just see other people, but also see you. See, this is why when I'm doing lives and I'm giving prophetic words and stuff, I'll stop and I'll tell you, okay, God, I hear you, right? Because I'm giving someone a word or I'm saying something to you guys and God's reminding me of something concerning me. I'm not blind to me. Like, there are things that I may be blind to, but I'm not blind to me in my process. This process has been very intimate. And I think that's the best way I can say it. It's been a very intimate process. And so what you got to understand is God wants to get intimate with you. And I'm going to talk about that more at 9:30 when we talk about the word, the message for today for the ministry. Y'all, this word, y'all are not going to want to miss it. I'm telling y'all, y'all are not going to want to miss it at 9:30. Show back up because I'm telling you, God is getting ready to really dig deep. And that's what he wants. He wants to dig deep. He's tired of surface. He's tired of pretend. He's tired of people shifting who they are to be who someone else thinks that they should be or wants them to be. Listen, he just wants you to be you. And listen to this. And I want y'all to hear me. And I want y'all to hear me clearly. The person that God has for you, I'm talking about your person, that person that God has chosen specifically to be the one for you, your life partner, your life mate. Okay. They will desire you for who you are, not who they want you to be, not how they want you to be. They will desire you for who you are. They will see you. They will see the open. You will share with them the hidden, and they will also have some things that they see that you're blind to, that you don't see but they see, right? Because when you're with a person, you're supposed to be able to see some things so that you can say something that maybe they haven't even noticed or haven't even been aware of, so that they're like, oh wow, if you're with someone and they can't see you, they can't see the blind parts of you, you don't need to be with them. Because listen, that's who can have your six. See, I can't have your six or have your back if I can't see the stuff that you're not seeing. If I can't see it and you can't see it, we just all out here in the unknown. No, God doesn't want that. Not totally. That, yeah, there are going to be some things that are unknown, but God needs you to be with someone who can see some stuff that you can't see so that they can help guide you in this journey called life. If you can't guide me, what I'm with you for? If all you can see is what I see, what I need you for? I can see that by myself. We've got to understand that when you're talking about purpose partners and mission mates, they're going to see some stuff that you can't see. They're supposed to. They're supposed to. And if the person that you're with can't see for you, then you got a problem. You're with the wrong person. Now, I'm not telling you if you're married, get a divorce. I'm not saying that. So don't y'all say that Dr. B said, I need to leave you because you can't see. No, no. I'm telling you all, listen to me. If the person that you're with can't see, you need to start having some conversations. You need to know each other. How do you get to know each other unless you spend intimate time together? How can you see that person unless you spend time with them? Unless you spend time with them, not only in the natural, but in the spirit. It's going to mess some of y'all up. See, sometimes we're trying to build relationships in the natural, but we haven't connected in the spirit. You don't know a person's spirit. If you don't know their spirit, you really don't know them, because in the natural, you're just getting what's going on right now. In the spirit, you get the core of who they are, the essence of who they are. See, if you can see me in the spirit, you can see me. If all you see is my natural, what you don't really know me. You can't discern me. You can't discern my heart. You can't discern my motives. You can't discern what makes me tick. So you're not going to pick up on the things that I need in the spirit, the things that I desire in the spirit realm. Oh, you may know how to please me physically, but you won't know how to please my spirit man. You won't know how to connect with my spirit man. And so we want to see on the surface, but not see in the spirit. No, baby, you better open up your spiritual eyes and don't just see in the natural. See in the natural, absolutely. But you better see in the spirit. You better see in the spirit where stuff is coming from. Where is this coming from? That's interesting. Mm, Pay attention. You've got to do what? See, discern, and decide. See, discern, and decide. So listen, y'all, I'm just telling y'all about me. I'm just talking about me. I'm not talking about y'all. This may not apply. But sometimes these lies ain't even for y'all for real. I'm glad y'all benefit from them, but they're really me talking to me or God talking to me. Okay. So that I can get it out, right? So when you see, discern, and decide, listen, listen. I see more than I say. I discern more than I reveal. But when I decide, I decide. Catch that. I see more than I say. I discern more than I reveal. But when I decide, I decide. Okay. So in this journey, if you won't see it, you'll never be able to address it. You know, I was talking to a young lady and I said, baby, listen, if you won't face it, you can't fix it. Mm, all right, Mike. If you won't face it, you can't fix it. If you can't face a thing, you can never fix a thing. This is what this journey has been for me facing me, all the aspects of me, all the parts of me, my traumas, my hurts, my disappointments, my failures or lessons, right? Because it can be a failure or it can be a lesson. It's a failure if you don't learn anything from it. But if you learn something from it, it's a lesson, right? All of this, God has opened me up. Now, I was talking to my cousin last night and I said, you know, it's almost like, because we were talking about, the person was saying, oh, God wants to put you on the operating table. Y'all know I told y'all God is operating, like he's operating, right? That this is surgery opening up, right? But I said, the thing about me is some people get to have surgery. They're under anesthesia. They can't see what's happening. And it's only them, the doctors, the nurses, the anesthesiologists that's in the room. I'm at the teaching hospital. My God, today, I want y'all to hear this. I'm at the teaching hospital. At the teaching hospital, you don't have one doctor come in. You don't even have two doctors come in. You have a doctor and all of these interns that come in. Do you understand what I'm telling you? So everybody is watching you. Everybody's looking at you. The doctor's diagnosing you, the doctor being God. The doctor's diagnosing you, telling you what's going on, what your blood pressure is, what this is, what that is, right? He's telling you, but everybody else is watching. Everybody else is taking notes because you cannot learn unless you observe, right? So everybody's taking notes like, okay, okay, right? Then when you go into surgery, you're under anesthesia. So you can't see everything that's going on. The doctor's performing the surgery and all of these people are watching, not just in the room, but they, you know how they have the observatory in the teaching hospitals where all these people are up there and they're watching the surgery, the actual surgery as it's going on. They're listening to what the doctor's saying. They're seeing every cut. They're watching the blood flow. They're looking at everything that's going on. I am that patient that's having surgery in the teaching hospital. So there are all of these observers observing my process and my surgery. Now I'm still the one getting cut. I'm still the one bleeding. It's my process. I'm feeling the pain, but everybody gets to watch it. Now, why would God do that? Because it would seem like if God loves you, then he would let you go through your process privately. Some people get the privilege of a private process, but some people have to be the ones that people learn from. If there is no place where people can learn, there's no place where people can become the surgeons that they need to be, or people can know how to go through the surgery the way that they need to. Listen, that's me laid out on the operating table. Hey, every time I get up on here, I'm on the freaking operating table. Now, you'll see some fun stuff. You'll see my life. You'll see that stuff. But listen, I need you to understand that's because that too is a part of the process. So in this process, y'all, if you followed me for any length of time, you know that I've gone through a lot of iterations. My relationships have been kind of public, not public, as in you didn't always know who I was in a relationship with, but there were lessons that were learned in those relationships that I shared with you guys, right? The lesson, not the person, but the lesson. See, because somebody's got to share the process. See, this whole dating over 50, this whole online dating, all of this is a new thing, right? When you've been married for the majority of your life, I mean, you've been married 5 times. Listen, you've been married for the majority of your life, okay? And that would be me. This is a new thing, a new way of navigating. So how do you navigate that with the anointing? How do you navigate that with an assignment from God? How do you navigate that as you are transitioning? Everything that's been happening in my life, you guys have been kind of privy to, right? You've been privy to my process, and that's a privilege. It's a privilege when I allow people access to my process, but it is not without purpose. The purpose behind it is that you might learn something that helps you, hear something that helps you, see something that helps you to discern what's going on in your life, to be able to see and be like, ooh, well, I remember the time when Dr. V was talking about da 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 da. Not because I'm perfect, because I'm far from perfect, but because I've shown my process. So it allowed you to learn some lessons. Now, with all that said, this process means that everything is not for everybody. Everything I say is not for everyone. Everything I do is not for everyone. And that's absolutely fine. See, I think we get confused because we think that, everything has to be for everybody. It's not. It's not. And I'm not messed up about that. That doesn't bother me. It doesn't offend me. If I'm saying something, I believe that the people who are supposed to hear it will get it. The people who are supposed to be on will be on. If the message is not for you, why would you need to sit through it? Like, unless God has given it to you for someone else. I'm not messed up by that. But listen, you got to see, discern, and decide what you're going to do with that information. One thing about me, I can look like I'm moving fast, right? I can look like I'm moving fast. I move fast in my head. I move fast in the spirit. Like God shows me stuff quickly. Like everything is quick, right? And sometimes my natural has to catch up with my spiritual. And for that reason, God has simply slowed me down. But I'm still moving. It looks like I'm moving fast to other people, but I'm not moving as fast as I normally would move because God has me slowed down. In this season, expect God to slow you down so that you can see. Sometimes we're moving so fast and we're talking so much that we can't see. Not only can we not see, we can't hear, so we can't discern. I feel like I'm in the song slow motion, baby. Slow motion. Like that's what I feel like. I feel like I'm watching my life move in slow motion. And I'm seeing things and discerning things and deciding how to deal with them. I'm also not in a season of argue. Okay? For what? My life is non-negotiable. The plan that God has for my life is non-negotiable. what God is doing in me is non-negotiable. I'm going to go through everything that God desires for me to go through so that I can maximize, heal in all these areas so that I can help walk other people through the process. We want the end results without the process. I've signed up for the process on public display. That's what I signed up for. I signed up for opening myself up at the risk that someone would use it against me. That's what I signed up for. And I signed up for it because God said this is what you're going to do. And I said, okay. I said, yes. So your yes may cost you, but in the end, you win. See, there's no way anyone who wants to know me can't get to know me. There's no way that you can't look back 3 years and see the evolution of Dr. V and the evolution of Veronica. Because I had to realize that the two had to become one. I had to merge them because Dr. V was a protection mechanism. She was protecting Veronica because Veronica had been very hurt. And so that's my keep them at a bay, keep them at bay, keep them at a distance. Now I'm Veronica when I need to be Veronica, and I'm Dr. V when I need to be Dr. V. But it's the same person. Like I've integrated my identity. So who you see depends on who's needed in the moment. Y'all can't handle Veronica all the time. So you get Veronica when Veronica needs to show up. And you get Dr. V when Dr. V needs to show up. Right? So depending on how I'm needed, that's how I show up. That for me, like that conversation yesterday really sparked some things for me because what it did was it allowed me to look at me and say, what of this do I eat? What do I spit out? Why this? Why now? What's this about? How do I use this? Because I've learned that everything in our lives, it has something to do with us, even if it has nothing to do with us, if that makes sense. It has something to do with us, even if it has nothing to do with us. Like sometimes I have to say things for me to hear. Some things I have to say things for you all to hear, right? But regardless of why I have to say it, if God says say it, I have to say it, even if I don't understand why. That's life. There are things that He's going to reveal, things that He's not. So as you're taking this journey, you need to see. Open your eyes. Stop making excuses for, stop putting blinders on, stop overthinking. See what you see and say, God, what was that? That's the discernment. Discern what was that? If you have questions, ask the questions and then decide how you deal with what you saw and what you discerned. See, that's the key. Mike said your gift of transparency is needed. Praise God, it's a gift and it requires a grace. It requires a grace. Yeah, I think that sometimes we see people on social media and we see people on social media and we think, okay, oh my God, this person, da 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 da. But like these are real people, right? And they may show you realness to varying degrees. But I'm gonna tell y'all what y'all gonna get with me. This is who I am. This is who I am on camera. This is who I am off camera. Like I'm pretty consistent, and I'm consistent for a reason because I choose to be real and authentic. What good does it do? That's like with dating. Like when I had my dating profile up, like I said, I've been married 5 times. I got 7 kids and grandchildren. Okay, listen, this how old I am. I'm not fudging no number. Like, why do all that? Why do all that? Because I know the next question is, well, why have you been married 5 times? Well, you can ask me that question, but let me tell you this. In being married 5 times, I learned a lot of lessons. For some men, they're like, oh no, she's been married 5 times. Oh, she's not, that's fine. Like everybody has a right to their opinion. Everybody has a right to make a choice. Like that's important to me to give people choices. So because I believe in giving people choices, I believe in being honest with people. I believe it with being as transparent as possible. So if you ask me a question, I'm gonna give you an answer. It's so funny because um navigating co-parenting is challenging. Our whole separation, divorce, but still having these kids and these grandkids and trying to provide some sense of stability for them that we didn't have has been interesting and it's been challenging. It's challenged me in that I have to navigate that differently, right? So I've had to learn how to be real clear about what is and what isn't, you know, choose what we do and we don't do. But I'm not afraid of having a relationship with my ex because this is someone who's been in my life for an extended period of time. And we have children and grandchildren. And my goal has always been in every situation as it related to my kids for them to not feel like they have to choose a parent. I don't want my kids to have to choose a parent. No, no child should have to choose a parent. They should be able to have both parents and in significant moments have both parents in the same space at the same time, having effective communication and knowing that there is a continuity in family, right? Even though we're not together, even though I'm not in love with him, even though we're not sexually engaged, even though none of that is there, that's still my friend in the sense that I care about what happens to him because he's the father of my children and someone that I spent over 20 years with between 2 marriages. Do I want him back? No, not because he's a bad person. He's not a bad person. He's a good person. He's just not my person. See, when I got clear on that, once I'm clear on that, I'm good. Like, bam, right? And so I've had to learn how to navigate that. And that can be challenging when you're dating because a lot of people don't understand that because people have dysfunctional co-parenting relationships. And so if you're operating in dysfunction, function looks dysfunctional because it's not normal. This is not normally how it goes. Normally, the way it goes, you break up with someone, y'all hate each other, y'all don't talk to each other. I don't have the energy for that. I choose to put my energy in love, loving everyone, being concerned about and caring for everyone. And so that transparency is uncomfortable sometimes for people, but it is what it is. Even with my children's fathers, because I got 3 baby daddies. Sometimes their girlfriends didn't know what to do with me or my presence. Well, like I was all up in their life, but I just am different. I'm just a different woman. You will never meet another woman exactly like me. And this is what I tell men all the time. You'll never meet another me. You just won't. Like I'm a very unique woman. And I don't say it to be braggadocious. I'm just wired differently. I spend a lot of time with guys. Like I think in a lot of times, a lot of ways like guys, but let me put that but in. But my feminine is very much present and I do not want to be a man, right? But it allows me to move a little differently. So it'd be stuff women do. I'd be like, that's foolishness. Why do all that? Why go through all that? Let it be what it is, right? So I'll give you an example. Um, my oldest son's dad. And we weren't together, like we weren't in a relationship when I got pregnant with him. But I was determined that he was going to be able to have a relationship with his daddy. Like to me, that's important. Children need a relationship with their father and a relationship with their mother. And boys especially need a relationship with their father. Because I had boys, I was like committed to them being able to have a relationship with their daddy, even as I didn't have a relationship with their daddy like that. Like I want my boys to know their daddy. I want them to spend time with their daddy. And I'd made up in my mind that when my boys got to a certain point, when they got to the point where they wanted to live with their daddies, I was going to let them go live with their daddies. To say, I know who I am. See, I'm never intimidated by another woman. Another woman can't intimidate me. I'm sorry, boo. But no, if a man is drawn to another woman, baby, go over there, do what you do, figure that thing out. I don't have to stress about that. I'm not going to pivot who I am. I'm not going to change who I am. I'm not going to try to do what she does in order to be her. No, I'm going to be me because you'll never meet another me. So if you want to be over there, that's cool. Like that's your prerogative. See, I've learned to see me and see the value in me. Listen, I'm the true definition of homie, lover, friend. Like you can't beat it with an anointing, with a prophetic eye, which means though that I see stuff and I know stuff. So I'm comfortable in my skin. I'm comfortable in who I am. So my son, his dad was dating someone. The girl, they ended up not being together. But, if my son wanted to call her mama, he could call her mama. It don't bother me because I know who I am. I'm not moved by that. In fact, I encourage them to listen to the women. Listen, don't give this woman no hard time. Okay. Listen, if you love her and you want to call her mama, call her mama. I won't be offended. See, that's different. Most women aren't like that. When my ex and I, my recent ex, Rick, and I got divorced the first time, I set it up. I do my own divorce papers. So I did my own divorce papers. Let me say that. And I set it up so that he had custody first, and we were going to rotate custody until the kids got to the point where they can make a decision. I want life to be smooth. See, to me, if you can have clear communication in a process, then that makes things easier. I don't have time to be the bitter ex. That's not going to be me. I'm not going to be mad when Rick get a woman. I'm not going to be mad about that. Listen, I want you to have a woman. I want you to have someone in your life because I'm going to have somebody in my life. So I'm not doing that. It's too much. And the way I've raised my children, I've raised them the same way. We understand that family is sometimes sticky. It's not always clear cut. Sometimes it looks a little messy, but you do everything in your power to make things run as smoothly as possible. Just let people have those relationships that they need to have. If a man has children, my daughter knows, she saw me do it. If a man had children, I love those children. I love those children like those children were my children. I took care of those kids like listen. That's why my daughter, um, my oldest daughter, when her dad and I divorced, you know, like she tried to call me Veronica. No, ma'am. You can call me Miss Veronica. You can call me Mama. But what you're not finna call me is Veronica. Okay. Now you can choose whether or not you want to continue to have a relationship with me, but you'll always be my child. You'll always be my daughter. And that's not contingent upon whether I'm with your daddy or not. That's a commitment and a relationship I made with you. Relationships are important and people undervalue them. So people throw the relationships away when the relationship or the marriage does not work. To me, that's problematic. I, I get it. Cut ties. I get that. But sometimes there's a reason that God has you in people's lives. And we'll sacrifice why God has us in people's lives for the comfort of someone else because they're not accustomed to it. Listen, y'all. Listen. I believe with everything in me that because God knows how he made me and he knows how he set my life, that the man that is for me will be able to navigate that because I will do the same thing for him. You understand? See, when you get in your 50s and your late 40s and stuff, listen, it's not clean, especially not if you have children. You guys, you got to learn to see in the spirit. You got to see the spiritual reason for things. This is not just a natural walk that we're on. When you start seeing things in the spirit, there's so much that we can learn from God and from other people. So to this day, I have exes whose children still love me. I have exes whose children who still stay in contact with me. And if I feel like, I'm concerned about them, I'll call and say, hey, how's so and so doing? You know, I have um a son um who is incarcerated. And so when he's on my mind, I reach out to him. And this is what I'm gonna say. I reach out to him, right? Because I don't want him to feel thrown away. Y'all, we get in relationships with people with children and we throw those kids away. We throw the kids away because the relationship didn't work. Y'all don't see nothing wrong with that. Y'all don't see nothing wrong with throwing children away, especially if you've established a bond with them. I don't understand that. So when people have bonus children, children that they didn't birth, I get that. I have them. So I'm not freaking out about that. And a lot of women will. That ain't even your child. Why are you doing for them? I don't have time for that. That is a child that's been a part of a person's life. You love those children. Right. Right, Donald. Like you love those children. You love those kids. You embrace those children. Our problem is we're freaking insecure. Can we be honest and real? The problem that most people have in life, in relationships, in ministry, in everything, is that they've not dealt with their insecurities. The moment you begin to deal with your own personal insecurities, then you'll be able to love the way God needs you to love. You'll be able to open yourself up the way God needs you to open yourself up. You'll be able to be who God has called you to be. God is love. God doesn't say, oh, well, y'all aren't in a relationship anymore, so you're no longer in my life. The devil? What? No. God's love is so all encompassing that his love will cover even a multitude of sins. So I don't feel like I got to control nobody. I don't feel like I got to control who they talk to, what they do, what their process is, because this is what I know. The person that is for me at the end of the day, when all is said and done, is going to be for me. Now, whether or not we're both moving in sync at the same time, baby, that's another story. And it may be that that person chooses to do something else, and that's their prerogative. But I don't have to change the core of who I am. No, no, no. That's not what it is. When two whole people come together, and this is the problem, you can't have a whole person and a half a person. Y'all listen, the reality is we got to let people heal. We got to let people heal. We got to let people take their healing journey. And sometimes that healing journey will include you up close, and sometimes it won't. But the journey is still necessary nonetheless. Alita said, I feel you on that. I feel some kind of way when I hear people that throw away their ex's children. Yeah, I just can't do it. Now, I don't have no judgment for you. Like, that's your life. You have a right to choose whatever you choose. I choose to love the children that were entrusted to my care for any length of time, whatever length of time that is. And it's challenging for me when people like snatch that child away, and like there's like it's over, it's done, there's no more, like you don't know what happened to them. um I have a bonus son right now. He was a baby when his dad and I were together, and I established a relationship with his mom. Yeah, like that's me. I'm that chick. But not all women can handle that either. But now I don't know where he is. Like, I would really love to find out where he is and how he's doing. But we've got to be able to see. Y'all, listen, open your eyes. Open your eyes. See, not just in the natural, but see in the spirit. Discern what's going on, right? Let your discernment be on fleek, right? Let your discernment show you who people are. If we lean more to our discernment, we lean more to the spirit and seeing who people are, then we'd have a better understanding. So when things start looking crazy in the natural, something's going on in the spirit. I've learned to spend more time seeing people in the spirit. Because if I deal with you in the spirit realm, then I'm going to treat you the way God would have me to treat you. I'm going to deal with you the way that God would have me to deal with you. I'm going to handle you with some kid gloves when that's necessary, because sometimes people are broken and fragile, and they need someone who can see them in the spirit, love them, love on them, but handle them with care. That's important in this healing journey. So because I'm a healer, and because I'm called to heal, and because I'm called to heal men and women, but I have a special anointing for helping men to heal, I've got to be extra careful in my discernment. So I have to ask God very clear, pointed questions, and I have to be focused on the spirit and not just on the natural, because otherwise I'll mess it up. Then you got to decide what you're going to do with what you've seen, what you've discerned, and not decide emotionally. I've learned to not be emotionless. I have emotions. Y'all see me, I'll cry. Like, I have emotions, but I've learned to not let my decision making be driven by emotion. So when I start getting all super emotional, I had to stop. Okay. And I have to have a conversation with God. Like, God, what was that? What was touched? Because that touched something in me. And figure out, did it touch it in a good way, bad way? Did it trigger something, a trauma, a past hurt? You gotta get in touch with you. And if nothing else, this is my prayer. My prayer is that when I do these lives, Me getting in touch with me will show you that it's okay to get in touch with you. Me being vulnerable with you will let you know that it's okay for you to be vulnerable with you, and that you watching my process will help you to learn some lessons so you don't have to go through some things that I've gone through. All right, Alita. Alita said, "Oh my God, Dr. V, that's exactly where I am right now." Yeah. See, you got to know you're not the only one in that place. And that's why I am in surgery, on public display, in the teaching hospital, with the observation room full, and the observation room being the world, so that anyone publicly can click on my page and see anything that I'm saying. 'Cause I don't have secrets. And when you're in the place, and let me modify that. I have secrets, but I live a pretty public life. Um, and it's a part of the process and the journey. Okay. This is my assignment. And this is what God told me. He said, if you take care of my assignment, I'll take care of you. So when it really clicked for me, because y'all know I want to be married, y'all know I want a man in my life, that I can share my life with, a man that I can love, um, and just pour into. Like, yeah, I desire that. Like, it's, my greatest desire, right? Other than pleasing God, that's my greatest desire. And it used to be greater than my desire to please God. That's a whole nother conversation. But recently, God has gotten me to the point where I desire to please Him more than I desire to have a man in my life. And so, if my desire to please God means that I can't have a man at this point in my life, like, that is what it is. But I'm going to do what God says. I'm going to fulfill my assignment. I haven't gone through all the hell that I've gone through to forfeit or abort my assignment now. There's no way in hell I'm going to do that, not for anybody. You understand? And I'm real clear on that. Like, no, ain't nothing worth me aborting this assignment. And so, if that means that dating is on pause, a man is on pause, it's on pause. But I got to fulfill my assignment. God said, listen, if you will be concerned about the things I'm concerned about, I'll give you the desires of my heart. When you seek ye first the kingdom of heaven and its righteousness, then all these things will be added unto you. I'm believing God for that. I'm trusting Him at His word. I've given Him the thing that I've tried to hold on to, the thing that I tried to control. Not very well, because I've been married 5 times, but I've given that to Him. I said, God, here's my desire. Here's my desire for a husband. Here's my desire for intimacy, emotional, spiritual, physical intimacy. I'm giving all of that to you. Now, I might have tried to give some of it to Him, but I wasn't trying to give all of it to Him. Like, you weren't finna get my desire for physical intimacy. I'm not giving you that. I'm gonna keep that right there. He said, no, give it all to me. So I've given all of that to Him. I've handed it to Him. I've said, okay, God, here it is. Take all of it. Do with it what you want to do with it. And God, I'm going to go with you. I'm going to believe you. I'm going to trust you. Y'all, when you really trust God, I promise you, listen to me. I promise you, He will keep you even when you do not want to be kept. He will keep you. And I used to laugh at people. I was like, okay, whatever, whatever. Listen, I'm telling y'all, firsthand knowledge and experience. God will keep you even when you want to talk about cock blocking. God, the ultimate cock blocker. He's the ultimate. He'll be like, no, really, God, this is what we doing. But it's for your good. And I think for me, learning to trust my daddy, my earthly father, has helped me to trust God more. So I'm grateful for the journey. And I'm grateful for you all going on the journey with me. I'm grateful that maybe something that I do or say will help you to understand your process and your journey. Now, I'm not telling you to do what I've done or take my journey. No, because my journey is mine. But I'm telling you, be very intentional in listening to God and trusting Him with your journey and your process, because He does know the end from the beginning, even when you don't. And so, even as a prophet, I can't always see clearly when it comes to my life. I can see clearly with other people's lives, at least as much God as God shows me. Um, but I can't always see clearly with my life. And so I have to trust him with that. I wonder why that is. Why do y'all think that is? I believe it's because God wants to have that unknown. God is the unknown. Y'all know that. So when I talked about those windows, God is that unknown window. And if God is the unknown window, knowing God gives you access to the unknown. And when it's time for things to shift into a different window, a different category, then it can happen because he'll reveal something to you and you'll be like, oh, that's why that. A lady said, I'm really learning to hear God in my life, realizing my intuition is God's voice. In my life, it is my protection. I focus on my relationship with him. Okay, Alita, now do you understand why when you would ask me certain questions, like I would not give you an answer, or I would say, what does God say? Because I knew that God was trying to get you to that place. And he can't get you to that place if someone is always giving you the answers. Yes, brother. Yeah, like that's where we got to get to. And then everything that God has for us will be out. Think about this. Think about this. You've given God everything. You've given God everything, all of your heart's desires, right? And you've totally submitted your life to him, right? And you don't think when he gives you what he has for you that it's not going to be absolutely amazing? When I think about the men that I've had the honor and the privilege of having in my life in different capacities, understand, in different capacities, and what I've seen, and I'm like, okay, they're not him. Oh, this man, when I tell y'all that this man that God has for me, when we bust out, y'all better prepare to be sick of me because that man is going to be a bad man and the world will know he's bad. Do you hear what I'm telling you? The world will know because, I'm be like, my husband, my man, my baby, and I will be able to be the things that he needs. His peace, women, don't underrate being a man's peace. I'll be able to be his peace, his comfort, his joy, you know, his business partner, his push, his encourager, his cheerleader, like all of those things that men need, right? I'll be able to be all of those things because God has been grooming me specifically for this man because he knows this man and he knows exactly what he needs. So he's preparing me so I can be all of that for him in the same way he's preparing him to be everything that I need. Now, don't settle. See, discern, decide, and watch what God does in your life. You all don't miss today's service at 9:30. The word is going to be amazing. Um, we're talking about let's get naked. Let's get naked. Yeah, I don't want to miss that word. Let's get naked. Let's get naked. Yeah, in the church, we talking about let's get naked. Listen, I pray that the word has blessed you guys. Remember, tonight at midnight is the end of the 350 for the Healing Daddy Moons retreat. $350 is the full payment until tonight at midnight. Afterpay is available. I've had people use Afterpay. It works. And so I'm excited about that. I need y'all to go ahead, get registered. If you can't do the whole 350, you can go ahead and put your deposit down. The cost will be 700 for the whole thing. But until midnight, you'll be able to get it for 600. I'll take $100 off until midnight. So if you put your $250 deposit down, then you'll be able to pay the rest of it off July 28th through the 30th, or July 30th through the 1st in Columbia, South Carolina. You're not going to want to miss it. Women, we're healing these wounds. Men, stay tuned. I've got something coming for you guys as well because you guys need to heal too. So I need y'all to get ready, get ready, get ready. God is doing a new thing, an amazing thing. And it is wonderful to behold. Listen, I pray this word blessed you. If this word blessed you, I want you to sow a seed. Sow a seed. You can go to Cash App $ DRV Walters, Cash App $ DRV, or PayPal.me $DRV Walters. Listen, y'all, let's have an amazing, incredible. Oh, today at 5 o'clock, at 5, live at 5, live at 5 with Dr. V and friends. We're gonna have service here in Tampa. Listen, I'm going to post about it. I've got to post up about it. Live at 5 in Tampa at 11213 North Nebraska Avenue. You guys come through, check us out, or we're going to be live. Listen, there's limited seating in the building, but I promise y'all it's going to be an incredible prophetic time. This is a prophetic time, y'all. I'm telling y'all, you don't want to miss this, because God is about to do some things prophetically. God has given me some very specific instructions about today's service. And it's not traditional. It's not gonna be traditional. I need y'all to know that. But God is getting ready to do something. So I need y'all to be in the place or on the line. Okay. Look, I love you guys to life and life more abundant. My kids are blowing my phone up. I gotta see what's going on. You guys be blessed. Mwah.